First of all, a very good evening and welcome to GIBS IRE Talks. Our goal is to increase the awareness about innovation, research, and entrepreneurship by featuring the most prominent speakers who will share the knowledge and insight about the pertinent topics. I'm Professor Sandeep Bansali from the team GIBS Business School, Bangalore, and it's my privilege to moderate this IRE Talks. At GIBS, we strive to establish an environment that promotes professional and personal growth. We are an exclusive business school offering AICTE approved PGDM program and Bangalore BBA program affiliated to Bangalore University. Along with a lot of industry aligned programs such as postgraduate program in innovation research and entrepreneurship program, we have GIBS finishing school and a lot of other programs such as BMP programs and so on and so forth for both BBA as well as for the PGDM students that assist in developing leadership skills, offer networking opportunities with professionals, and encourage community involvement. Our aim is to produce a well-rounded individual who can have a positive impact on the world. Today, we are pleased to have Professor Bharath Gopalan sir as a keynote speaker for today's event. And today's topic is Know Your Innovation Profile. Is anticipated to be informative and inspiring. We are thrilled to have the opportunity to learn from his expertise and gain knowledge and perspective on this topic. It's my privilege to introduce Professor, sir, I would call you as BG if you don't mind.
That should be fine, absolutely fine.
So it's my honor and privilege to introduce Professor BG to this August gathering. BG is an accomplished professional with over 30 years of expertise in manufacturing industry. He has held various leadership profiles in HR, leadership, learning and development in leading organizations such as Hyundai, RBI, Ramco, Bharat Fritz Werner, and many more. Mr. BG has conceptualized and designed, delivered leadership and behavioral training programs and built a learning culture within organizations and championed internal communication mechanisms. Mr. BG is also an author, and he has authored a couple of books, Break Your Boundaries and The Smart Presenter. He is a certified assessor for the HR Excellence Award by CII and a deemed national resource person by the Government of India for the training the trainers officers. But Mr. BG is Professor BG is a proficient psychometric test like Thomas profiling, MBTI, situational leadership, and many more. Professor BG has been extensively updating his knowledge through the online courses, including the Leaders of Learning by Harvard and Leading from the Emerging Future, which is about U theory by MITx. He has been involved in two prestigious national important projects, that is BARC, Rare Material Projects, and RBI's New Note Press project right from the inception stage. Currently, Professor BG is the CPO, that is Chief Process Officer at GIBS Business School, Bangalore. And in this profile, he's responsible for driving the entire process excellence and operational efficiency across the organization. He brings his extensive expertise in HR, L&D, and leadership training to the current position and plays a vital role in shaping the culture and process at GIBS. Before we delve into the topic of the IRE, I would like to remind all the participants that there is a Q&A section open. So in case if you have any doubts, any queries, any questions you have, please feel free to put it in the Q&A section. We will take it at the end of the session. And I'm sure let's make this session a little more interactive. I'm sure Professor BG has a lot of things to be asked us. So we'll make sure that our audience is really quick and they'll respond. You can respond it in Q&A section. So I'm sure they'll have the responses coming your way. BG sir, over to you. We are really awaiting to listen to your expertise. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to you, Sandeep, and good evening to all participants.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Professor Sandeep, for presenting me to the participants. I should say it is one of the impressive intros I have ever had. I know it is not an easy job to convert chronological data into an interesting narrative, and you did it well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I welcome all the participants, aspirants of learning, and taking time to come on an evening and be here. It is really wonderful to see you all being here, and I'm sure you are going to have certain solid takeaways. Having said that, I'll put my presentation on, Sandeep.
Yes, sir. You can just share the screen, sir. There's an option called a screen share. Yes, sir. It's perfect. You can just put it in the, yes, sir, slideshow.
Okay.
It's perfect, sir.
Yeah. The session's topic is IRE session on Know Your Innovation Profile. When I say know your innovation profile, you need to do some work to know your innovation profile, which I'll be talking to you in some time. As Professor Sandeep was talking about IRE, the IRE is one of the unique value offerings of GIBS, which helps in transition of fresh graduates with fresh talents, latent talents, to career-ready corporate professionals. PGDM, of course, is one course that prepares the people for career readiness. At the same time, PGPIRE is intended to add value in terms of bringing innovative zeal into the part of the course takers, and also getting a research bent of mind, which is very important to explore and find the problem that can be taken up for innovation, and also getting an entrepreneurial mindset, which the whole program is focused about. This PGPIRE, people convert, the students, the learners, the aspirants convert their ideas into action and bring out prototype of the ideas they have brought out. And when I talk about PGPIRE, the session that we are going to have is one bit of what we do in our PGPIRE, because that is one of the primary things that we need to do, understanding ourselves, what kind of innovation profile we have, so that we can contribute better to the team and into an innovation process. So before we go into that, how do you get the best out of this next 45 minutes to 50 minutes? I would like you to do one thing. If you can keep a pen and paper handy, that would be helpful. As we go into the session, I would like you to mark simple things. It is not very complicated. Marking of an option of letter A, B, C, D, which I'll explain to you. But can I request you to have a pen and paper at this stage, so that let me know you are all ready with the pen and paper. If you need to pause a while for this, I'm okay. If you can show by raise of hands that you are all ready, then it should be fine. Or you can use a notepad, or you can use your mobile for also jotting down your responses, because this will help you in really understanding the innovation profile of yours. So having said that, please feel free to drop your questions as you go by. If you're not able to take within the time, I will certainly personally get back to you through a mail and respond to your questions, because it is more important for me to get to know your questions, so that when I do it next time, probably I get those things answered in my presentation itself. Thank you. So what is that is going to be there for this session? What are the few things that you can expect from this? I'll start with an innovation, how a collaborative innovation evolves in a larger scale, complex problem solving, which will help you to draw the 4 different styles of innovation. When we talk about the styles of innovation, what is your preferred style in participating in an innovative project? So the 4 styles comes from the 4 stages that we need to have for an innovation. When I talk about 4 stages, right from first to second to third to fourth stage, each one will have a preference for playing their best in one of those stages. If you know where you can play your best, you would have identified your role. And the last, of course, is your innovation profile. By responding to few set of statements, that you would get to know what your preference or profile of innovation is. That is what you're going to take away from me this next half an hour to 45 minutes. So let us talk about creative thinking. When we talk about innovation, naturally what comes first is creative thinking. But though it is creative thinking alone is not an end in itself for innovation, but it is one of the vital aspects of innovation. So we have information, we gather information, we connect it in our own way, the information that we gather, which becomes our knowledge that resides in our head. And it comes through experience as we go into work life or career life. The experiences connect with the dots we collect during our education, and that makes a meaning to us. And that is where, as we go by, we are able to form strategies that can be helpful, and we become intuitive also. All the dots, we are able to come up with some all of a sudden result for something, some complex problem, just because we have gone through many things and there is an intuition there. But when it comes to creativity, how do we connect the dots? There is no structured theory for this. When we talk about creativity, it is about connecting the dots in our own unique way that it forms something new, something novel, something which is not there before. And if when you know, and it is not, each one will connect in your own way. So creative thinking is how you connect the dots. And more importantly, I would say how you collect the dots. Because unless you have the dots, you cannot connect the dots. So during your education, what you do is collecting a lot of information, converting into knowledge. So keep collecting the dots, because I'm going to talk about my own experience. As Mr. Sandeep said, when I was working in BRC, I was handling a nationally important project, how the dots connected for me, and I came up with this innovation profile. I'll be talking about it in a while. So large-scale innovation is about a lot of incremental improvements that happen over time. Sometimes it can be very disruptive also. In my intro, you heard that I have worked for two nationally important projects. One is for BRC, Bob Atomic Research Center in Bombay, where I was involved in the experiment of certain project which came up as a big plant in Mysore. It was about enrichment of a nuclear isotope, which plays a vital role in producing electricity and power in a large scale. Another plant is where I had worked with the RBI New Note Press project, where we print currencies for the nation. Both the projects, I was among the first few people, I should say around 20 to 30 people, initial people who were in this project. Now a few thousands of people are working in both these projects, and they have taken shape. And when I talk about this banknote press project, this is one of the world's best organizations with 14 million per capita productivity today, which exceeds Bureau of Europe banknote printing of America, better than dollar printing. So anyway, digital currency is taking over. We may not need that much of currency in future, but still, this is one of the important projects I work for. I said evolution of an earth-shaking innovation, which I'll be talking about, which connects with the 4 stages of innovation that I came across in a book. I think when you see this picture, you can relate to one of the biggest attacks during Second World War, where Americans attacked Japan in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And that project was something similar to what we were doing when I was in BRC. So my interest was in Manhattan project, which was producing this nuclear bomb. At the same time, my interest was in innovation and creativity because I was involved in research. So synectics is about connecting something to apparently or totally different things, and it makes sense at the end of the day. So one book I was going through at that point of time was Applied Imagination by Osborne. And second was I was involved in the plant it is a big scale project of a Manhattan. I'm talking about the project, small experimental project I was involved in. How do they connect? I'm talking about 4 scientists who were involved in the American project. They were not involved directly in the American project. It was an unconscious collaboration. They didn't intend to collaborate, though they were bit contemporaries. They were not complete contemporaries, but slightly succeeding time they have lived in. Michelson Morley, who measured the speed of light and who also said there is no ether in the atmosphere. And Albert Einstein confirmed it. He made that energy equivalence, mass energy equivalence, and brought out the famous equation E is equal to mc squared. That turned the things, changed the future of the world from then on, because Enrico Fermi came into the scene and brought out that nuclear pile which can be fissile and make a nuclear bomb possible. At the same time, nuclear power also possible because of the enormous amount of energy that is created. First is the person who gave the data, second is the person who discovered something, third, Enrico Fermi is the person who did an experiment, developed it to a further stage, and we have Otto Oppenheimer, who is called the father of nuclear bomb. He made the bombs blast in Japan. Why am I talking about these 4 scientists? I have given A, B, C, D. I'll ask you one question. I would Michelson generated the data speed of light, and Einstein discovered E is equal to mc squared. But I'll go further and talk about, when I read the book, I was talking about this book, Applied Imagination by Osborne, joined by one Dr. Perns. He created as innovation, creative problem solving or stages of innovation. Any innovation has to go through these 4 stages. First is you need to clarify the problem, bring the problem on the table with clear terms. You need to research on the data relating to the problem, put the data together and define the problem. That half the work is solved there when you are doing that. And then when you know the problem is, when you know very clearly what the problem is, you can generate a lot of ideas. That is the second stage. You can do brainstorming, you have got a lot of tools for doing that. You can generate ideas. Third stage is, once you have generated ideas, you have to again converge. You diverged in generating ideas, putting a lot of things together. Now you need to converge and develop solution. Pick a few ideas and compare with the rest of them, and put the best one to implementation. Develop the solution. And fourth stage is getting into action. Make the things happen, which Oppenheimer did in making the bomb. Though other scientists contributed unknowingly, I wouldn't say they contributed knowingly, they didn't play as a team, but unknowingly they all contributed, though Einstein regretted at a later part of life. So now I would ask you, I'll say all these 4 stages can be 4 types of people. There is a clarifier, there is an ideator. Clarifier brings a problem to the table, ideator puts in a lot of ideas relating to the problem, diverger, more diverging. Then there is a converger coming and developing the solutions, picks the best solutions and develops workable model for making the solution happen. And ultimately the implementer who comes and brings the team together, fixes the responsibilities and makes things happen. These are the 4 stages. You will have your own preference, which you will come to know before we close this session. So whether you are a clarifier or an implementer or a developer or ideator, we will see in a short while. Before that, a short question for you. Do you see the connect between the 4 scientists and 4 stages of innovation? If yes, can you tell me through a show of hands that yes? Or you can comment in the comment in the
Q&A, yeah, the Q&A section you can put it across.
Which is, I have 4 stages, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have A, B, C, D scientists. If you can match them, it's a no-brainer anyway. If you can match them, it will be a great thing to do. Do you have some answers? Let me pause for a couple of seconds before we.
A lot of them have raised the hand, sir.
Oh, great. Because just I wanted to know whether all are in sync. I'm not running on my own monologue. Thanks for responding to this question, and we'll move on. It is a simple thing that matching the scientist with the type of innovator the person is. Naturally, Michelson-Morley, when he found that discovered, I wouldn't say discovered, he found out by massive experiments the speed of light, a clarifier, which brought the data for Einstein to work on. He didn't naturally work on the Michelson-Morley's experiment, but he confirmed that speed of light is constant. That helped him to bring up his equation E is equal to mc squared. Of course, the 2 others, Fermi is a developer naturally and implementer ultimately. The person who was the father of nuclear bomb, Otto Oppenheimer, is a very, very strong implementer who brought around 120 scientists from all over the world to make it happen. A big implementer by all time, all terms. So how are you going to go about this session? I'll give you briefly how this session is going to go and why you should know your innovation profile at all. We all are ideators, we all are clarifiers, we all have our own way of doing, but how will it help you in knowing this? Why should you know? I say you will become more self-aware. Awareness leads to actions. So this self-awareness on your preferences will also help you to maximize your contribution. When you are working in a team on an idea or a project, you will know that this is the area I can play better than others. So let me bring my contribution. And when you know that this is not an area I can contribute, you will know, you can find out the person who is good at it and leverage on their strengths. Both it can help leverage on the preferred members, preferred style of other members. And to work on. Sometimes, if if it is not a complex problem, I have to work on all the stages. Sometimes, I am a good ideator and a clarifier, but the thing is, after ideating, I stop. I don't implement. I don't develop and implement. That due diligence of doing things sometimes is missing. So I'm a early bird, I'm not a finisher. So I may need a finisher in my team so that I can do the work, or I should work on my own to develop those skills that can help me to complete a project. Many of you must be pursuing some project at the individual level, also at the team level. When you are doing at the individual level, can you look at what are the areas that you need to build up so that you can have your innovation or the projects happening to the completion. Otherwise, many things we start and we don't take it to a logical conclusion. So this profiling would help you. So innovation is the result of collaborative work of people with different approaches to creative problem solving. So when we have a creative problem solving, particularly complex problem solving, where we need more than one head and few hands to more than one head to think about and few hands to work on, it is about bringing all of them together with different preferred modes of innovation so that we are able to leverage on each one's strength and come to a solution which is helpful to the world or humanity at large. So I talked about this, and I must, before you go into this, identifying your style through a brief self-check or self-test. It is not a test, I must tell you. It is only a preference-based. You prefer doing this. I'm not saying that you have the ability. You will be able to confirm for yourself whether, because it's not a test of ability. You can confirm for yourself whether your preference goes with your ability. If you are a good clarifier, your strength also is in clarifying, then you must be a good data miner and a researcher if you are a clarifier. So look at that at a later stage whether your preferred style matches with your strengths and abilities. That's as a start. I thought I would say that. So it's not a test. Don't think it is a test. It is only your. There is no good style or bad style. All are big scientists there whom I showed. But we need to identify our preferred style rather than thinking in terms of what is the best style. Think of what you are naturally. I'm going to give you a few situations. Probably you can think of what you are naturally doing rather than thinking of what could be the best in this situation. That is something you need to think about so that your natural style comes up. Okay, I asked you to keep a pen and paper handy. Hope if you are not having a pen and paper, you can use your mobile text thing. I don't know. There are many tools where you can put in your responses. That will help. What I want is I'm going to show you 5 set of statements. They will have 5 slides coming further from here on. We'll have A, B, C, D, 4 statements. Pick the one that you most prefer. If it is A, you put A. Only one letter for each slide. So when I go to the first statement, you can start doing it. So if you have any doubts or anything, any clarification you need, put it in the question box so that Mr. Sandeep can share it with me.
Yes.
So can I go ahead and show the first set of statements?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. So imagine you are a part of the committee for organizing an important event. I think the important event is coming up now. Many of you will be playing a very vital role in that. And you are invited to come up with different ways and plans for making the event successful. You are one of the onus is on you. You are one of the persons who will have to make this event successful. What will be the most preferred way you would like to contribute? Now I'm going to show you the 4 responses, 4 options. What you can do is pick the one that you most prefer. There are A, B, C, D, and the second column. First column has got 4 statements. Corresponding to the statements, you have A, B, C, D. If you are one who will gather data on previous events or events that have happened in other colleges and collect the feedback from those participants, you will call up, hey, how was that program? You will collect and find out, you can mention as A. Or if you will straight away jump into thinking different ideas without even bothering about what happened in the past, just throw all your ideas, make a list of all the ideas. Then you can say you are B. if you are going to, no, I'm not going to think of too many ideas. I know few things will work. Pick those few ideas and prioritize, evaluate against the different 2-3 ideas and prioritize the ones that have maximum impact based on certain criteria. Probably it is about fun or it is about learning, whatever criteria you choose, if you will do this, put it as C. And last one is focus on how it is best action. What actions I can take? What are the realistic plans? Who will I assign what jobs? What are the deadlines and timelines now we need to work on? If you are going to do this, mark as D. Is it clear?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. No questions from anyone? Anyone seeking any clarification or anything?
Nothing as such. Hemant and Jayakumar, sir, I would request you to you can make a note for yourself. So there's no right or wrong answer. You can just make a note with yourself.
Yes, absolutely no right or wrong answer. It is your preferred style.
Preferred style.
When you know your preferred style, you can leverage on it. You can play on your strengths. And you know which is not a style you prefer, you can also build on it. So it will help. So don't think of the ideal answer. Think of what you are, what you prefer, what you most prefer out of this four actions. I'll move on to the second set of statements. Can I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, please.
Second is pick your preference. I like taking time to clarify the exact nature of the problem. If you are that type, pick A, mark A in your sheet. Generally, I approach the problems in a creative manner. I don't approach problems in a, run-of-the-mill manner, but I use my creative approach. Then B, I like testing my ideas before coming up with a final solution. Then C, I enjoy taking necessary steps to put one idea into action at a time. You are more about taking action. Then D. Should I have a pass here for you to mull it over and have your responses? I'll take a pass so that every one of you complete. There are around 200 people there in the participants. I want all of you to complete.
Yes, sir. I think we can proceed.
Yeah, I'll move to the third set of statements. I'm going to show you 4 quotes. Don't bother about the author. Sometimes we like the person or the person who has said the quote, we pick that. Pick based on the content of the quote. Why I am saying is, if I see the author, I will pick something else rather than what I would pick otherwise. So when it happens to me, I think that could happen to others also. So first quote is, if you define the problem correctly, you almost have the solution. Second quote is from Einstein, imagination is more important than knowledge. Third quote is, whatever the problem, be a part of the solution. I'm not sure who said that. Fourth quote is, it is not the idea, it is the implementation that counts. So you have 3 sets of statements or quotes coming up to you. Now itself, you must have got a pattern. You must be all A's or all B's or all C's or all D's. Then you are done. You don't have to take further questions. You are very clear about it. This is what I do. If you have not come to a clear, you are 2-1 or 1-2 in places, then we can, or 1-1-1. In case you are 1-1-1 in 3 different areas, then I would like you to go for 2 more set of statements. I won't prolong that. I have got around 15-20 statements. It is all going to be, you will know your pattern by the end of 5 set of statements. So I'm not going to prolong beyond that. So how many of you have already got your pattern?
Oh, a lot of them have answered as B. D is good for me.
If you have got it, it is fine. My job is done. Maybe for those few of you who would like to clarify and confirm, yes, this is my style. I'm still not sure. I'm A, B, C. I have 1-1-1 in each. Then take 2 more questions and validate your responses. Certainly, you will get a pattern in the next set of two set of statements. I'll go on.
Yes, sir, please.
Pick your preference again. I like identifying the most relevant facts to the problem. Any problem I take, first I look at the relevant facts. I usually come up with unusual ideas to a problem. Any problem you give me, I'll come up with a lot of unusual ideas. I like to, third statement is, I like to break a broad problem apart and examine it at all angles. I'm a more solution oriented person. The last person is I really enjoy implementing an idea. Pause for a few seconds before we move on to the next set of statements. And fifth is this. Again, pick your preference. It would look like I'm repeating those things, but it is said in different terms. So you can, it is only that you are able to confirm your style with these statements. I like focusing on, first statement is I like to focus on creating a precisely stated problem. I want a problem to be precisely stated. I'm not comfortable to work on anything unless I know clearly about this. I enjoy coming up with unique ways of looking at a problem. I don't look at it in one way, I look at it in many different ways. Again, I like to explore strengths and weaknesses of a potential solution. Any solution you give to me, I am not going to take it on a platter. I would question. I would say, what are the strengths and weaknesses of any solution you produce to me? And the last person always, like Oppenheimer, I enjoy making things happen. And we are in short of many people in the last segment. Let me see how many are coming up with that. So now you know I have how many A's, how many B's, how many C's. All 5, you are very, very strong in something. 4 also, I would say 4, 3. If you have 2, 3, 2, 3, then you have 2 styles coming here and there. You may be a clarifier and an implementer, or you may be an ideator and developer. You may have 2 styles. But your scores, if they are looking like this, it might look like this. For some people, it will be 5-0. I don't know how many of you are 5-0. It would be, if you are 5-0, you need to look at, you need a help of many people, other people to work in a team. If you are integrator, you have all 5, spread out, 1, 1, 1, and 2 in some place. You are an integrator, you can work through the problem to the implementation stage. So what is your style? You must be able to tell me. If you want to clarify in the question box, I would be happy to see that. It would give us a good indication of how many people we have in different styles of innovation.
A lot of them are saying B, few of them are saying D as their core. Mr. Jayakumar says 3311.
Okay. 3 is also strong style. 3 is
strong style.
Yeah. Anyone with 5-0? If you can put it in the comment box or question box. 5-0, I am strongly this. Or I want one integrator, 1-1-1, 2 or 2-1-1 or 1-2-1-1, something like that.
Okay, a few of them are raising their hands.
Okay, we'll take some questions, interesting questions towards the end, so that we are able to help them on how they can, leverage on their strengths and play as an innovation guy. So this is about it. Clarifier pinpoints the problem, look at problems from all angles, identify the key data, know what is relevant and what is not relevant. Many times we miss out here. We make our own assumptions. In our school times, we used to write what is given and what is asked. What is asked is X, what is given is 1. Let us assume. If you don't know, let us assume. Now we make the assumption, but many times we do not know we are making an assumption. We call it unconscious assumptions. So look at, if you are doing this most of the time, you are the clarifier. You are very good. I think you are the person who should start the teamwork. I would like you to lead the teamwork in terms of bringing the problem to the table, bring the other people, and take leadership in the first stage of innovation. Then hand it over to the next person who will bring the people again to brainstorm, bring the ideas, generate ideas, very bubbly person, ebullient, effervescent, enthusiastic person who will work on ideas, see the big picture, at the same time lose on many details. Maybe you cannot give it to this person to take it to the further stage, but the thing is, a lot of ideas. Maybe when you are planning an event, you need to identify this person also, but the thing is, he will take you completely off the track sometimes. So you need to be very guarded about this. Looks at the problem from new angle, thinks outside the box. And ideator, we need a clarifier, we need, more importantly, we need a developer. I think most of you are developers, as I am told by Mr. Sandeep. Developing solutions is very important. We have a lot of ideas out of the, Edison, it is Edison who said, when he failed many times in making a electric lamp, he said, I learned 999 ways of how not to make a bulb. Though he succeeded after a long trial and error, after a myriad number of trial and error, he said that. So developer is someone who has that rigor and what do you call that, hard work to bring the solution to an actionable stage. And ultimately, we need an implementer who can put the things together, bring the people together, test fast, fail fast, adjust fast, and make it happen. Ultimately, what is important is making it happen. So these 4 styles, you are able to know what your style is, and when you are working in teams, what other styles are, then it is great. You will be able to have a wonderful team with a mix of all types of people. So again, a repetition of 4 power innovation, 4 stages of power innovation. You have all the people, then you make it happen. So summary of this, clarifying stage requires identifying the goal and gathering data, generating data and gathering data, and sharpen awareness about the challenge. What is the challenge that we are working on and bringing the problem with clear definition? Then exploring ideas at ideation stage. Developing is about formulating solutions to move from ideas to solutions, evaluating the ideas, strengthening them, and select the solutions that are best fit. And implementing is about formulating an action plan, bringing the resources, identifying the key actions that are required, and who will do what and by what time. Smart goal, setting a smart goal, specific, measurable, you know that, and get going with that smart goal and into action. So your style may be one of this, you may be predominant style, then it is fine. If you are an early bird, you are a good ideator and a good clarifier, then you will lag down, lag after 2 stages. Maybe I am one of these styles. I would like to have somebody who can complement. I would like to compliment myself with a finisher who would not do the initial thing, but the thing is when it comes to finishing things, he would be a good compliment to me. So you find out who should be the complimenter for different people. If you are an analyst, who is the person who you would like to have as a partner? Can I put this question to you? If you're an analyst is more about clarifying strength and developing strength. Which is the strength that is missing? Who do you want as a partner for you so that they can complement you?
Sir, I believe the finisher would be a little helpful where he's trying to finish on things. Well,
Absolutely. But the thing is, finisher, yeah, correct. I could say that, but driver would be more helpful.
More helpful.
Because
yes. Okay, the other way around.
Yes. Because your weaknesses are the other person's strengths.
Strengths, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not a good implementer. Analyst is not a good implementer. Driver is a good implementer. Similarly, analyst is not a good ideator. Driver is a good ideator as well. So can I have a similar answer for an accelerator? Sorry.
I would go for the theorist is where it adds on.
Absolutely. Yeah. 2 weaknesses
and 2
complemented
strengths.
by that. 2 strengths. And the opposite of your weaknesses are the strengths of the other person. So makes a good complement. So identifying, when it is 2, it is good. When it is 1, you need to have all the people. You need to have at least, if you are a team of 10 people, at least 1 or 2 in each would make an ideal team. So can you look at, we are making teams for taking ideas into action in our IRE, PGP IRE program. So if people can form teams, we are talking about diversity, heterogeneity in our IRE teams in terms of gender, in terms of geographical spread, in terms of linguistics, or in terms of many other factors, tangible factors. But if you are able to look at this factor and bring a diversity in your team will be able to leverage on the strengths of all the people in the team. This is my suggestion to the people who are participating from our GIBS, so that they can look at it as a model for building the teams. So quickly, if I think we have you already know enough about your style. Still a quick glimpse of all this before I think we have some time.
Yes, sir, we do have.
Yeah. So clarifier, you know what your strengths are. Right problem should be addressed as the primary priority for the clarifier. But the problem you need to identify. If you are a clarifier, no, you may take a lot of time to analyze to the extreme and may not move forward. So think of this. Sometimes, are you stuck because you are a clarifier? So this is something I would like you to look at if you are a clarifier. Otherwise, you are good at data mining, data gathering, putting the problem on the table and bringing the team to, what do you call, explaining the problem, briefing on what they need to do. Again, ideator looks at the big picture, ideas, possibilities, imagination, abstracts. He or she can think in terms of abstract terms. But very important is when you look at the big picture, you may overlook the details, which are very, devil is in the details, or something that I'm trying to get that quote. So details, don't miss on the details. So next is developer. Yes, workable solutions is the priority, putting the things together to make it a workable solution, comparing potential solutions, analyzing them, pros and cons, minuses and pluses of all the solutions, and you will be able to get going with this. But look at this, what is in red. May get stuck again like a clarifier. You want a perfect solution. Perfect solution only evolves and emerges over time. If everyone looks for a perfect solution, we are stopped there. Give it to implementer here. Now you have done your job. Let the implementer take over and get the rest of the things done. Yeah, implementer comes into picture. This is profile I like because this is one of my areas where I would need an implementer. Likes to make things, see things happen, and he or she is the person who makes things happen. I think you have enough of them in our group, participants. Enjoys giving structure to ideas so that they can become a reality. Enjoys seeing ideas to the fruition, which is important. And then what needs to be looked into for an implementer? May leap into quick action. If you are not into other styles, probably when the problem is given, you give us immediate solution. Yes, we will get going with this. Probably there are better solutions waiting. You are not diverging. You are a quick converges into some solution. Yes, we'll get going with this. Yes, fine. So how much we diverge, go abroad and gathering a lot of ideas, then after some time, give it to ideator and solution maker or a developer, and then implement. If you start implementing, it will be a great way to go about innovation. This is about innovation. How do you solve complex problems? If it is a simple problem, you can play all the roles, because in our day-to-day life, we need to play all the roles. Complex problems are about, I would say many of the times, we work on known problem, known solutions. I know the problem, I know the solution, and I need to ask somebody what is the solution, because it would be new to me, but the other person knows, or elsewhere it is done. So I need to have a knowledge arbitrage, bring the solution from somewhere else. But where it is important is unknown problems or unknown solutions. This 2x2 matrix I talk about, I'm not having it here because I thought we may not have enough time. When you have known problems, unknown solutions, you can start with ideator. Because known problem is already known, you don't need a clarifier. But when you have unknown problems and unknown solution, you need to look into the symptoms which are looking like problems, because implementer will look at the symptoms and give a solution. But if you are a clarifier, you will know the symptoms are not the root cause of the problem. There is something else that is lurking deeper in the problem. You will define the problem, then they can take on. So if complex problems are where unknown solutions, unknown problems, that is where you need all the 4 types of people. So moving ahead, what is your how your team's creative preference impact your team's creative output? You can look at that. Do you have enough clarifiers? So I would suggest you make a team chart when you are working next time. If you want the questionnaire from me, I'll give you a more detailed questionnaire. Look at the team chart. of how the strengths are spread out. Also, next time when you do it, you also write which is the least preferred one. I asked you to only write the most preferred one. If you had put the least preferred one, that would have also shown up what are the opportunities for improvement in you. So here you have the downside for the clarifier. So many people, if you are having 10 people, you have spread of all the people. At the same time, there are people who don't have preference for this. So when you know this clear team profile, no, you will be able to play well, you will be able to, because in a team, what is important is being vulnerable, being exposing yourself to the strengths and weaknesses to others in the team so that they know where they can help you. They know where they can take advantage of you. Each one in the team knows that, then teams is a high synergy, high trust team, which cannot be beaten by anybody else. So when you are working on your ideas to action to prototype, look at your team and do this. So innovation is a collaborative project. Does your team have the right profile? If you have the right profile, you are a winning team. I think that takes us to the close of this presentation. Do I have some more time? Then I can take questions and answers.
Yes, sir. We will take up. Thank you so much for that, sir. Indeed, I must say that a lot of us have got to know that when we choose a team, irrespective of the profile, whether we are in college, whether we are working for a businessman, whether we are businessmen or we are working in corporate, we need to have the right mix of the team, as you rightly said, that clarifier, ideator, developer, or implementer. If all four of us that are there in the team, I would say things goes very, very smooth in that way. So moving ahead, sir, we will take a few of the questions initially. So there are a lot of questions which we have received, but we'll pick as much as possible. Sure. The first question is been asked by Vittal Bajaj. He's asking, sir, how we come to know about my profile is very creative. Maximum recruiters don't give much opportunities.
Okay. One is knowing your strengths is very, very important. I would say where you play well and what are the areas you need to improve. And I'm not sure how you are linking or connecting to the recruiters. Recruiters for different job profiles look at different skills and competencies and also preferences. If you are able to project the right kind of preferred style for you, you must be able to clinch the deal. But are you aware of what your strengths are and whether the job demands that? If you are going to work as a financial auditor in an organization, probably you need to be a clarifier, more looking at the data, finding out where the things go wrong. Or if they are looking for a sales profile, I would say you should be an implementer. You should be an ideator and implementer.
Go-getter.
Yes, you should be a go-getter. Make things happen for the organization, not clarifying the problem. No, I'm working on the problem. I'm sitting in my desk. So it depends on the job profile. Do you understand your job profile? And have you identified what the job demands? What kind of preferences and competencies the job demands? And I said it is only preference. Is it also your strengths and abilities? If I'm saying I'm an implementer, have I done something that makes me say that I'm an implementer? That is very important. That awareness will help you. Have I answered you, Bajaj, in case?
Yes, sir. I think Vittal Bajaj would reply us. Thank you so much. Absolutely right, sir. As you said, depending on the role you need to fit in. And very, very important is one should know their strength and weakness, which is their key area on which they have to pitch in on. Yes. So that's really nice, sir. Thank you so much for that. Moving on to the next question. This has been asked by Dr. Nagarajan. What are the types of profiling to become an expertise in the field of teaching, learning, research, and development? I would say this is your core area, sir. So Dr. Nagarajan is asking how to become, what are the types of profiling to become an expertise in the field of teaching, learning, and research and development?
So we'll move away from this innovation profile. Teachers, I do not know whether we can call ourselves innovators, though I have participated in a couple of projects which needed innovation. Because Bernard Shaw's famous quote, I remember, one who can does, one who cannot teach us. I am not because I'm also a teacher, but Bernard Shaw is known for his satirical remarks. Dr. Nagaraj, we are in the same team. We need to make other people do things rather than we doing things. So Implementation is a key for making the people learn. So can we bring in more implementation actions in the classroom? Second, what kind of profiles when I look at, no, there are many learning styles. Cobb's learning style is one of the profiles I would suggest for teachers. What learning style I have? Am I more a doer? Am I more a thinker? Or am I more a theorist? Or am I more a pragmatist? These four styles come up in the Cobb's learning style, which is about experiential learning. There are people who, if you are an experiential person or a doer person, you will enjoy making people do in the classroom. But I am a theorist, so I make people learn a lot of theory, conceptual things, though I try to bring in some activities into the classroom. So what style? These are four quadrants. You can be a doer or a theorist or a thinker, reflector or pragmatist, observer or pragmatist. Cobb's learning style is something you can look for, Mr. Nagaraj. Also, there are many styles. In the NLP calls it kinesthetic, visual or auditory styles, because understanding our learners or students' profile, what style is predominant, then we can adapt our teaching style to meet different styles of students. Maybe you are a veteran, sir. I'm just talking about what I know from my.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure Dr. Nagarajan would agree with this, and they would look into more detailing so that they can get the right answer as per their preference. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Moving on to the next question, sir. This has been asked by Shreyans. Sir, he says, sir, how can we make innovation a little more easier?
Innovation, we all love to make innovation easier. If it is only ideation, I would say innovation would be easier for me. But innovation is a hard work. I said nuclear bomb did not happen in a day. It took Michelson Marley in 1885 to 1945, 50, 60 years of different people's thinking and actions, big experiments coming together, people losing their lives because they were working on radioactive materials. Innovation did happen at the end of all these efforts, but it takes a lot of time. But easy innovations are possible. We call it in corporate world as quick wins. Quick wins are those when you join an organization or when you transition into a new job, you need to make quick wins so that you gain credibility of the people. You should pick up such projects which are winnable, which are easy to achieve the results, and also visibility, high visibility and high winnability projects I call. These are quick wins. Identify those projects so that you are able to brand yourself. At the same time, you are able to achieve the results. Because it is without the other will not make sense for the corporates. Because you are not going to be evaluated on writing test papers or exams. It is about your performance and results in organizations. So I would like you to look at that. Shreyans, did I answer you?
Yes, I hope yes, sir. And by the way, Dr. Nagarajan is thanking you, sir, for the wonderful response you have given to them. Thank you so much, Dr. Nagarajan, for being with us. So moving on to the next question is, this has been asked by Darshini. How can innovation profiling be used to identify potential career paths or business opportunities?
Okay. Before I answer that, I would suggest, recommend or advise, don't use only innovation profile to identify a job. There are very good profiling techniques, having come across many. This is one of the areas of interest for me. Whenever I find a questionnaire, I respond. Even if that is lying on the table somewhere, no, I'll pick and respond. So identify your personality type and leverage on your strengths. There is a book called Strengths Finder 2.0 by Tom Ruth. It has if you buy the book, there will be a scratch code at the end of the book. It talks about 32 signature strengths. 32 signature strengths in each individual. And when you respond to the questionnaire, you will know the top 5 signature strengths, which can clearly give you, these are the careers that you can look at. There is occupational preference inventory. There is MCMF questionnaire, which are also helpful. But I found this 32 signature strengths because that book was followed by Marcus Buckingham's book called Play Your Strengths. I'm not able to recall the book name, but he says, the author says, play your strengths rather than working on your weaknesses. Weaknesses, get the pass mark in your weakness, but work on your strengths and take it to centum in those papers. That's what he says. And so identifying your strengths will certainly give an insight into what kind of career, what kind of specialization you need to go in, what kind of career you need to pitch for. All those things will come up. Probably if you're talking to me one-on-one, I would be happy to share specific things that can help you in your career.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We'll take one last question, and because since we are running short of time, there are a lot more questions are there, but unfortunately we could not take it up. But one last question we'll take it. This has been asked by Professor Hari Prakash Prachagla. Sir, is collaboration the single key requirement to get best out of the innovation?
Collaboration certainly helps, I would say. Collaboration of different people with different thinking styles, not only thinking styles, different approaches to the problem in terms of expertise, different multidisciplinary expertise, because when I was working in BRC, it was not one expertise we all came from. There were multidisciplinary expertise, which brings in a solution to many complex problems. When it comes to simple problems where problems are not known and solutions are not known, or solutions are also known, but it is not known to me, I may not say that collaboration is very essential, but sir, Hari sir, I think innovation for complex problems would need a collaborative teamwork. And I think in our innovation class, you bring that to action by bringing people together.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. I must say, BG sir, it was really wonderful. And a lot of us have understood, I would at least say not at least in detail, where we have address this simplest language what you have used to make us understand about the innovation profile. I'm sure that will help us in choosing the right set of team from now onwards for whatever the job or task which we do it forward. Thank you so much. And I would like to extend my warmest, deepest appreciation to you, sir, for being with us and sharing your expertise. It's heartfelt gratitude from the team of GIBS for being with us. And I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to all the participants who have joined in, who have been so active during the entire IRE talks. Thank you so much for being the vital role in making this event a resounding success. And I would also like to extend my special gratitude to all the participants who have been very, very active in asking questions or interacting with the with our keynote speaker, BG sir, as well as in the Q&A section. Thank you so much for that. And BG sir, one last question from my end I would like to ask. This is just for the audience. Since you have been as a CPO of GIBS, you have got into a lot of amazing processes in the campus. So what one process would you think which is the must for the industry? Everybody should have this.
One process which
every individual should develop in themselves. One small, I would say, a behavior or an attitude or a strength, as you rightly said, that every individual student passing out of GIBS will have and everybody must have when they go for the industry.
Okay, I would put it this way. We are giving quite a lot of importance to talent transformation and talent fulfillment. The L&D team or the teaching fraternity puts all their efforts into transforming the talent so that these talents are future ready for the career and place themselves. So what could be important for them? Like if I am talking about students, I would say what is important is learn by doing. Anything you learn in the classrooms, don't stop with the theory. Don't think that you are writing the exam and passing the exam is the end of it all. It is about how I can see the application in my career. Everything, every concept, every theory, every tool that you come across, is there an application? Where is the application? You challenge us, you challenge the teachers. Where am I going to apply this? How am I going to apply this? That will help you. And look for turning, because there is something called Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Many people, when I talk about some subject, some topic in HR, they may say it was in first trimester, second trimester. Because we forget very fast when we don't put into action. Ebbinghaus says it hardly takes 1 or 2 days to have all the things that we learned evaporating so fast. So what you need to do is put into immediate action, do some journaling, ask some questions so that you personalize what you learn. How do you personalize whatever you learn? By asking questions, putting something into action. See the application somewhere, apply it. I would say one very important thing for the future leaders, emerging professionals is learning by doing, because tomorrow's test is not a pen and paper test. This is going to be a performance and results test that will happen day in and day out when you enter into a corporate career.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. As you, if I have to put it in the right words, I would say performance is the reality which GIBS always believes in.
Yes.
So I'm sure we will put things which we learn by doing it. So let's implement things which we learn, and then let's implement it on the immediate basis. Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you from my side, Mr. Sandeep, for making it very interesting. When I'm going to talk to you as participants, you made it very live by bringing all the responses that were coming from participants. I felt as though I was talking to every participant. You made it very live for me. And thanks to all the participants who have stayed all through and have recorded their responses and asked interesting and valuable questions, which would be a learning for me when I take it forward further. And if you have any questions that were unanswered during this session, feel free to reach to me in person or to Mr. Sandeep, so that we can pull the questions and respond to you, so that the session you are able to take into action. As I say, learn it by doing, not tomorrow. It is, if you have something, see how you develop your insight in terms of your own profile. Right? Thank you. Thanks very much, Sandeep. Thanks to GIBS for having me here, for talking to participants and sharing a bit of few things that I know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And in case if you're designing anything as the team, in case if you miss out on any points, the video would be put on YouTube GIBS channel, so you can always refer back. You can refer back the old webinars or the IRE talks which we previously had it on the GIBS official channel. So you can log on to it. And one small information is all the participants will be getting the certificates to their registered email ID before 11th. That's day after tomorrow, by the end of the day. And do follow us on the social media so that you're staying updated with the further upcoming IRE talks and what's happening with GIBS. So we would love to welcome you to the campus to explore the beauty of GIBS campus. So we would love to welcome you to the campus as well. Thank you. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, Bharat sir. It was really nice having you. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the GIBS IRE talks. Have a safe day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.